What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm here to bring you my review of day 3. This close of play has just been taken, and obviously stumps have just been taken. This video is going to be a little bit longer than the previous 3 or 4 that I've done over the last couple of days, so it's if you're not into the whole kind of longer video, then this may not be for you, but if you are, then obviously stick around and hear what I've got to say. If you have any thoughts on suggestions or opinions on what I have to say, again, leave it down in the comments down below. I'll obviously reply, heart, like, all, whatever, and we'll hopefully have more of a debate. So yeah, let's jump into what I thought of yesterday, obviously touching on certain bits of yesterday leading into today, because obviously as a test match, it all culminates around like the one thing. So yeah, basically my thoughts before the day were that England just needed to bat the rest of the day as deep and as long as possible, because it was obviously we needed that lead to go above what it eventually did. I'll get into that later, part of the video or whatever. But going into my thoughts, as I say, like, England needed to just bat the rest of the day, the whole day, and then some, maybe even into tomorrow, and just give us as big a lead as possible, and as big a lead as we could have built as such. So from what obviously I watched the build up and everything, and they were saying, the pitch, upon pitch inspection, like, obviously they spend hours and hours of, and obviously analysing what the pitch could be doing and what it might do and this and that. They did say the day 3 pitch started to look much like a day 4 pitch, which I thought was obviously a bit strange, being as it's obviously only in day 3, but it shows just the environmental effect upon the pitch, that the weather and everything plays such a part in test matches. You don't notice it so much in T20s or in one days, but it's that obviously raised a little bit of questions, because obviously we knew Lyon for Nathan Lyon and obviously Maiden were going to play a big part in this. Obviously both teams have a couple of spinners within their ranks, not as good as their main kind of spinners, obviously Nathan Lyon being theirs, Maiden being ours. We also have Joe Denley, who can bowl a little bit of leg spin, and obviously Joe Root, who can bowl a little bit of off spin. And I think they have like Matthew Wade and Travis Head that can bowl a little bit or whatever. Matt Wade being a medium, I don't know why I mentioned it, but yeah, you get the gist, you get the point. Another current theme, which has obviously been throughout since and definitely don't shout at me too much, because I know all teams do this. It's not just one team that does it more than the other. It's a thing that all teams do. But the Aussies, it was more noticeable that the Aussies were trying to get the ball changed ahead of a lot. They were chucking it to the umpire saying, it's gone out of shape, or it's not swinging, or it's not seaming, it's not doing anything. And it's like, look, just get on with it. Just get, I'm not saying you won't see England doing this when it's their turn. And obviously we have started to bowl, but again, I'll get into that later on in the video. Just get on with the game, really. If it's not doing anything, it's this is a test match. It's a test of your skill. Do you have the skill to be able to take the wickets that are required to win you the match? If you don't, well, then perhaps test match cricket isn't for you. I know that sounds very forward and very sort of out there vein, as I've never played a game of cricket in my life, but that's unless you count like school cricket, and obviously whatever. But yeah, that's part of the course, really. Touching on again also just like what I said about England batting the rest of the day and as deep as long as possible. I thought Rory Burns played an absolute outstanding knock yesterday, batted the whole day. I think it was the first time in 3 years. So it came out, Stuart Broad said that the bowlers were able to, when they were talking about like the recovery and obviously what works best for the muscle recovery of like bowlers and stuff like that, when they keep bounding in and bowling silly amounts of overs in test matches. He was saying it's the first time in 3 years that one of the openers has batted through the whole of the day, giving obviously the bowlers that much more time to recover, which again, it was a fabulous knock, amazing innings. Just massive congratulations to the boy. He went on to get a big boy 100. Eventually did nick off. I mean, he looked up until that point. He looked really accomplished. He looked really steady. Looked as if he had finally found himself at Test match level. And it was a pleasure to watch, along with Stokes batting with him. Obviously Stokes going through to a 50, and as soon as he did that, the very next ball nicking off, going for a wild waft outside off stump, and it was just a little bit typical Stokes. It was kind of, it's one of them ones where you just kind of hold your hands up and say, like Stokes would have done, he would walk back, he would have been very disappointed with the way he got out. He was disappointed, rightfully so. It was quite, I don't know, just really annoying to see, because obviously you've just gone through to your 50, just see the rest of the over out. I know it might be easy for me to say sitting on my sofa watching it, but obviously we nitpick, we dive into the analysis and whatever, and not necessarily what the player's thinking and whatnot, but just the thought behind the shot. And obviously, because majority of today, the Aussie bowlers didn't really look up to scratch. I don't think they looked quite. They just looked like they were missing something. Peter Siddle, I don't think personally, if I was an Australian, which obviously I'm not, but if I was an Australian, I wouldn't be best pleased to see him pulling up in this Test match side, really, because in the you want the guys that are capable of taking 20 wickets, and who's to say that's not going to be, and who's to say Siddle's not going to turn out like an absolute amazing spell of bowling and bowl England out for next to nothing and winning the match? That I will be left to eat my words, and I will do so. That's obviously, you can sound clip it, you can whatever. It's just it is how it is. I think they just lacked from their line, from their length. It was too full, not full enough, too short or not short enough. That type of analogy, or not analogy, but that type of kind of sporting. You're never bowling that perfect. They're always looking for that kind of, not. They're just bowling generic. They were bowling generic deliveries, not bowling the fourth or fifth stump channel, which you should be, or even aiming to hit the top of off. I mean, again, batting or bowling against some batsmen, obviously they make it hard to do so, and obviously I respect that, as it is a Test match over 5 days. It's not a one day or a T20, which we all know is obviously very frantic. The main other points was, we see in the build-up, see Jimmy running up and down bowling, and he never came out to when England actually had their turn to bowl again. He never came out, so again that put the pressure on Woakes and Broad to obviously carry the weight of the kind of workload. We know obviously spin is going to play a massive part in this game, obviously, as it has done so far, but when carrying on while England were batting, I thought they looked quite steady up until a point where it was, I think up until Stokes really rocked the boat when he got out, so that wasn't ideal. Stokes getting out for 50, then I think it was Burns followed really quickly after, which again nicking a thick edge behind Nathan Lyon, getting the wicket, which I think that was, he deserved it. He'd put in a hell of a lot of toil, which I thought he bowled really well. I can't sit here and say he didn't deserve the wickets that he got. He bowled really well. I think that was, I don't know, it was the key to perhaps him building the pressure that obviously made England lose as many wickets as they did, as quick as they did, because there was a passage of play where England went from, I think, 282 for 4, so 282 for 4 to 300 for 8. So we lost 4 wickets in the space of 11 deliveries, and it seems to be an ever-recurring theme. I don't genuinely believe it will be a theme that carries on to the future. I just think it's a recurring theme because of the batsmen that are being selected. Moeen Ali, the way he got out today was absolutely nothing short of, it wasn't a Moeen Ali dismissal, it wasn't, he didn't get out in the way you would expect him to. I know there's not a expected way for a batsman to get out, but there's certain ways that certain batsmen are always kind of liable to get out. You know, they touched on Steve Smith. He gets too much over one side, flicks it down the leg side, and possibly to leg slip. But that's just one example. When I don't know, when Ali came to the crease, he just didn't. For me, I was thinking in my head right now, like at the time, that we're not going to push forward because this guy can't buy a run at the moment. And that's not no disrespect at all. I know it might sound very harsh, but also you say the same for Bairstow. I mean, although he did get, he scored some scratchy and ugly runs, but again, you're going to find those in the Test match innings. You're not going to score these like walloping great boundaries that, free flowing, big bat swing, whatever. No, you're not going to. It's not going to, it's not all fairy tales and unicorns and whatever. It's sometimes you do have to go through those innings to get yourself back into nick, which obviously it hasn't worked for Ali, and it's beginning to become a concern. That as just me watching it, I don't know how the selectors are feeling about said issue, but it's beginning to become a concern, especially also with Bairstow more so because he's the wicketkeeper of the team, and his wicket keeping is nothing short of sensational. I think he has, like all wicket keepers, they drop chances and whatever and this and that, but they, it's nothing short of sensational when when he's in the side. And also Ali being the only spinner as such, I know Joe Root bowls a little bit, and obviously Joe Denley bowls a little bit of leg spin, but you can't rely on both of them two to carry the workload of how much Moeen Ali would bowl, and obviously how crucial Moeen Ali is to and has been to the Test side and the One Day side. But it was just, I don't know, they're getting into like how if you're going to move forward, you've got to either they have to be released to play for their counties. I don't know if that's how it's done. Then go and get some game time, playing for your county, feel back on ball, feel comfortable. Change maybe it's just a change of technique. It could be something as small as that, or again go back to your county, feel back on ball, and just get some valuable runs, and come back when you're feeling better in yourself as such. Because all these things are taken into consideration. Obviously, when the players are selected for the team, but obviously their countries, not necessarily just England, but also, I don't know, obviously, if England's policy of selection is the same as the rest of the world, but it was just a annoying, it's just annoying to see, because as again, if I keep looking down here, it's because I've got my MacBook here, I'm just looking at sort of like points I made throughout the day, hope you don't mind, but it's just annoying to see because it has become a definitely frequent, I don't know what the word is, but a frequent theme, frequent theme within the side. And it's like when they get down to that kind of middle to lower order as such, you always think, are they going to get enough? Are they going to contribute enough? You can't keep leaving it to the top order or top to kind of early middle order to bow you out, because if I'm not saying go and change the whole team, that's not what I'm saying, it's just you have to work on more of a balance. And I know, contrary to my first video that I did when I went through obviously who had been selected and who was actually playing in the match, I did say England have a great balance within their side, which I still genuinely believe they do. And it could, it's going to be, one thing is for sure, it's going to be a massive 2 days in this series to set the tone for the rest of the series. Whoever gets 1-0 up, or even if it goes to a draw, I can't see it somehow. I think they brought up WinViz, or whatever it's called, the one that kind of gives you like a general idea of where, not necessarily the neutral, but where the fans are and where how much it's, I'm not sure if it's based on kind of the views of the fans or the opinions of the fans, but it said, I think it gave Australia 20% and England 70%, and the draw was a 10%. So I don't think personally it's going to be a draw. Far from it. As the day sort of went on, the crowd were getting into the Australians, per se, and they have been throughout the Test match, and no doubt they will they have been from the first ball, and no doubt they will be till the very last ball that's bowled. They are providing a valuable asset to the team, being, they're not letting the band three of Warner, Smith and Bancroft, they're not letting them get off at all. They're not letting them, every chance they get, they're just letting them have it, same old Aussies, always cheating, all that kind of, and everything like that. And use your imagination, there's a few others that I can't throw in there, but obviously, if you have been following it, obviously, you kind of know the general idea, and obviously, what happened with those three for them to get, banned and whatnot. And also, just a quick thing, Warney, who was, Shane Warne, who was commentating, was getting ever so touchy in the comm box. Jesus, it almost made it like around midday. I don't know if any of you watched it, around midday, he just started getting really touchy. Everything that anyone said, he was like, biting on it. It was like really cringy to watch. It was kind of, I was debating whether to turn it off just for his commentary stint. I don't actually like him that much as a person anyway. Not that I know him, but I just don't like him that much as a person because he doesn't come across very likeable. And that's not because of where he's from, how he, whatever, and how much he used to torment England. It's not, but it's just annoying. Yeah, because more than anything, it was just and obviously coming to tea, we were I think around 300 for 8 or something like that. It must have been because I hadn't written anything else down. Broad said at the start of the day's play, I think it was either today or yesterday, the start of the day's play, he would have taken a lead of 60 to 80. We obviously ended up getting a lead of 90. Spoilers if you haven't been watching it, and obviously waiting for the highlights, whatever. Also, I just wanted to drop this in there. If you want me to react to the highlights as well, so we can have me in a little box and me watching the highlights effectively, I can do that as well. So if you obviously not for this Test match because it'd be kind of pointless, but for future Test matches, like for the Lord's Test match, the second, the third, the fourth, and the fifth, I can do so. Obviously, so drop that down in the comments if you want that stuff and anything else. But getting back to the day, England went on. We got 328 for 8. We're at the moment losing 4 wickets, as I mentioned. I think it was 64 in the morning session, losing 4 wickets for 64 runs, which saw them effectively slip from 282 for 4 to 300 for 8. Obviously, the wickets being Burns got out, Stokes got out, Bairstow got out, and Ali got out. So it left Wilkes, Broad, and Anderson to come in. And obviously, as well as I do, Wilkes is a great batsman. I think he's obviously scored a Test 100. I think he scored a Test 100 not this year. I think it was against India, if I'm not mistaken, when they came over last. But so we all knew he'd got pedigree, and obviously he knew himself that it was important for him to sort of spend time at the crease just to sort of get a feel for obviously how things are going and whatnot. But innings eventually came to an end after a very, very good partnership of I think it was about 67, or 60. Correct me if I'm wrong. It was about 60 odd from Broad and Wilkes, which obviously at that point every run was proper crucial. So to build, to be able to have a lead of, it worked at 90. To have a lead of 90, which it proved out to be crucial because they lost 3 quick, or not, I wouldn't say quick wickets, but they ended the day with 3 wickets down, which obviously, and the way they all got out was very similar to their first innings dismissals. So perhaps that's England can put into plan and execute that plan to get those guys out in that same way, or if it is at all possible. Obviously I know the cricketers, they do work on their techniques, and obviously when they're getting out the same way twice. It's kind of, you know, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, you know, that kind of, you know, whatever. Fool me once, you know, that type of stuff. But the way that they ended was really annoying, because bad luck stopped playing. They still had another half an hour to go, which equated to about another 13 overs, I think. So obviously we lost 13 overs. That will probably be made up within the next 2 days at some point, depending on how it goes. Yeah, so the way that they ended was bad luck stopped play. I think Root wanted to bowl Broad again. He wanted to bring him back for another spell, which I was obviously right happy with, because he looked really, really menacing against, you know, most of the batsmen, and he has done all match so far. But then he said, like, I think the umpires were saying that, well, if you bowl spin at both ends, we'll allow you to carry on and bowl them 13 overs, but they have to be bowled by spin, because it's obviously down to the rules. When the lights kind of, and when it gets really, really dark, it obviously becomes unsafe, and it's just annoying for, I think just annoying for the bowling team, really. But all being said, I don't think there was a team that had an all-round overwhelming performance, and either team didn't really shape the day, so they didn't win the day. I think it was a tale of two halves. You know, maybe Australia had the best of the first, or like the first half of the day, and it's just that it is just how it was. You know, and obviously that's perhaps maybe the tale of the next 2 days. Who knows? That's just the beauty of Test cricket. I'm enjoying the Test match. Let me know if you are. Let me know if you are enjoying these videos. If you want me to keep bringing them to you. Obviously, this one's run over a little bit, so I apologise for that. If you're not a fan of the longer video, then obviously you haven't clicked on this video and you obviously haven't watched it. But if you are, shout out to you. I love you guys, and yeah, like, share, subscribe, and I'm out of here. I'm gonna go and take a shower, and then go and get some food and have a beer and chill out, because we ain't got no more cricket till, actually no, tell a lie, there's cricket on later on tonight. I think it's Lancashire against Notts, so I'm going to watch that. Neither of my counties, but yeah, I just love watching cricket. I love you guys. I'll speak to you guys in a bit when we're all done.